Sure.
I'm just going to go through. Just going to go down these, see which ones I commit. Thou shalt have no other god. I don't have any god, so I haven't broken that one. 2, graven images. No, I don't have any graven. I don't accept there's a god. 3, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord. Again, I don't take his name in vain because I don't believe he exists, so I'm fine there. Remember the Sabbath. I always remember Sunday. I know I've got a calendar and everything, so I haven't done it that way. Honour thy father. Yeah, I do that. I've never committed adultery. Don't do that.
Ever killed anyone?
No, never killed anyone. Don't steal. I don't lie, and I don't covet. So I am an amazing Christian.
Pretty clean. Yeah, you're a pretty clean living guy.
Wow. There you go.
Well, whereas I don't know, Carl, have you ever? What's your view?
I still open like post. That isn't for me.
I'm just going to see that's on there. That's opening other people's post. Alert level low. Punishment. Embarrassment. You have to walk along with your trousers around your ankle, saying I'm a div.
Why do you open other people's mail?
But it's just a fella called Bruce who he's the bloke who used to own the flat before me, and I don't know. I started off and I thought, oh, should I pass it on? You know, because when people move, it's a lot of messing about tracking down where they've gone. So I thought, should I just leave them for a bit? And I collected some for a bit, and then there was one that sort of said, "This is important" on the front of it. So I thought, how important is it? So I opened it.
What was it? Was it important?
Not really. It was from a tattooist.
What did they say?
It was just something
They
about.
said, "Oh, we use the AIDS needle on you. Can you come in for a little test?"
So I just started. I just kind of thought, oh, I'll start opening it, having a look, and it was weird because, do you know like how you get fed up of being yourself?
No, but go on.
Well,
I'm intrigued.
Of course.
No, you can just have days where you're like, what is going on?
Pitt, yeah.
Well, you know, and
Bruce Willis in your case.
This bloke was Bruce. So I just go, oh, let's see what, you know, if I was Bruce, would I be happier being him? Do you know, like how I've said to you before, you never know if you don't feel well because they can't put you in someone else's body to sort of compare.
No, most people can just use their imagination.
Yeah, sure.
So I sort of think...
They don't actually need to physically go into someone else's body to understand that.
Yeah, like
terrible.
Ghost. Yeah, exactly.
So I think, well, would I enjoy being Bruce more?
Sure.
And what have you gleaned from Bruce? He's got a tattoo, we know that.
There wasn't that much. It was mainly busy at Christmas. A lot of Christmas cards, which were good because I didn't get that many.
Yeah.
So you put up these Christmas, you put up these Christmas cards.
You had Christmas cards hanging in your flat to have a lovely Christmas, Bruce. Auntie Jean. That's crazy.
Well, hang on a minute, because when you put them on your mantelpiece or your shelf or whatever, you're not looking at them every day. It's just a picture of Father Christmas. It doesn't matter who it's to or from.
But why have them up at all?
Well, why not just buy some
make
blank...
it a bit Christmassy.
You can just buy some blank cards and put them up.
Use them every
There's no
year.
point, I have to. Bruce has got a lot of friends. It was more awkward, right? Because the bloke downstairs, because I used to always collect the stuff for Bruce, I got talking to a bloke who's in the same block, and like he used to see me picking stuff up for Bruce. He'd always say, all right, Bruce.
No!
You've never told him that you're not Bruce?
Well, no point.
In the pub I used to drink in, the landlord got it into his head that I was Steve, right? And
you don't mean me?
No,
you just mean to call
exactly.
Steve.
Yeah, no. This is before I met you. This is like 25 years ago, and he called me Steve, and it got to the point I couldn't correct him.
Yeah.
Because it would have been embarrassing for him, and so after about 2 years, we were playing cards, and someone said Ricky, and he went, "Who's Ricky?" And I went, "Ricky," and I just went red. He went, "What do you mean, Ricky?" I went, "Yeah, that's my name." He went, he said, "What do you mean, fucking Ricky?" I went, "Ricky," and I looked at him, "What do you mean?" "Steve." I went, "No, it's not Steve." He said, "Well, I've been calling you Steve for 2 years." I went, "Have you?" Like denying I'd ever heard him call me Steve. Oh, this guy, right?
But hang on, did he? What happened? What was the fallout from it?
He's just sort of like, he was a bit confused, and then I think he still called me Steve for a little while, but sometimes it was Ricky, sometimes it was Steve. It was fine, right? But this guy, right? He was a bank robber. Okay,
really?
Yeah, he'd done 17 years in all.
In prison?
In prison, yeah. And I was a bit scared of him. I'm fascinated. He was fine. He was done now. He'd gone straight, totally straight, and he was running this pub. And I I remember once, he'd tell me stories about it, and he'd go on about his, he did it with 4 people, and, they all did time, and he said, but you wouldn't recognise them now, he said, they are the most respectable people you'd ever see. He said, yeah, they're just, lovely businessmen, height of sophistication now. Said, you'd never guess, right? And then, one day, he came over to me, it was a busy pub, he went, Rick, Steve, he said, you know those geezers I did the crime with? The other 3? He went, yeah, he said, they are in the pub here now, see if you can guess who they are. I said, you'll never guess who they are. I looked around, I saw 3 blokes in sheepskin coats with tinted hair, covered in gold sovereigns and gold necklaces, and I went, no, oh, he went, those 3, I went, you are joking. You are fucking joking. That was his idea of total sophistication. They had tinted beards, but they looked like fat Bee Gees covered in gold and sheepskin. It was unbelievable. I went, oh, that is a surprise. That is a surprise. I thought they were barristers. Oh, unbelievable.
I was always terrified of being mugged when I first moved to London. And you remember, Rick, I had a wallet with all my stuff in, and then I took to carrying a fake wallet.
That's lovely.
Okay, which I had some sort of old library cards and DVD cards, you know, video shop cards and stuff. And like I put a £5 in there, you know. And then I got really anxious because I thought, what if I hand over my fake wallet, and he goes, well, it's a fake wallet. Okay, then I got to hand over the real wallet, but maybe he also punishes me, you know, takes it out on me because he's angry. So then I took to carrying a second fake wallet. So I spent about 2 months carrying 3 wallets around, 2 of which were fake, right? And then, do you know the reason I stopped? Because I thought, what if I give him both fake wallets, I give him one fake wallet, he opens it, he goes, well, this is a fake wallet. I give him the second fake wallet. Now he's going to be twice as angry as he would have been if he only had the one fake wallet. And then I was thinking, what if I do give him the fake wallet, and then he just starts using the library cards and the video cards, you know, and he could run up a huge fine. Yeah. I'd be in the same position I would be not giving the money.
Yeah, I don't believe you'd ever put a £5 in the fake wallet. You wouldn't be willing to. Yeah. I had a run-in with crime. I was, ripped off.
Really?
In a big sting operation a few years ago. I was at home and I was rushing out, and the phone went, and it was my bank.
Yeah.
And I went, is that Mr. Gervais? I went, yeah. He went, have you recently bought £200,000 worth of gold bullion? And I went, Jane, have we bought 200, well, what? Have we bought £200,000 of gold bullion? No, of course not. I went, no. Well, someone's taken that money out of your bank account fraudulently, and they've purchased gold. And I went, right, okay. They went, we'd like your permission to get the CID involved. I went, well, yeah. I said, of course. I said, but hold on, you know it wasn't me then. So do I get the money back? And they went, yeah, all the money will be put back into your bank account. I went, fine. I said, yeah. I basically went, yeah, fill your boots. And they went, and can you come down? I went, oh yeah. So I arranged the time. I went down to the bank. There was the CID there waiting. And well, it turned out it was sort of an inside job. Someone who did some sort of random checking of facts, you know, where they phone you up and say you're happy with the service. They put down the phone and went, oh, you never guess who I spoke to? That Ricky Gervais.
Right.
And someone overheard. They were involved. They'd got a payoff from Mr. Big somewhere. It was out of the country. And
but so isn't there more? I mean, you can't just, even if you work in a bank, you can't just walk off with cash, can you? There must have been a more elaborate.
Yeah, they did a transaction, didn't they? They okayed the transaction like it was me for these people, and then these people bought gold with it, and now all they have to do is go and collect the gold. Now this is the tricky bit. So what they don't know is now the bank know that it's not me collecting it. Right. So whoever turns up for the gold, they said they'll probably just be, they might even be innocent couriers.
Yes.
But then we get, you know, the go-betweens or whatever.
And where is gold bullion kept?
I don't know.
It's just
I suppose you go and get it from a vault somewhere, right. and take it away and take delivery of it. I don't know if it literally changes hands or not. So what they need is obviously my passport. So they got the people. So it was going to go to court. Okay, I didn't have to go to court, but I had to have a meeting with the CID for all the details and take the, you know, that it wasn't me and all that.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, I'm there with a CID man, and I said, well, how did they think they were going to get away with it? And they said, well, they turn up with a fake passport of yours, show the ID, and I walk away. I went, right, okay. And they said they get a a passport from either a dead man, or they steal one, and they replace it with your details and your picture. And the CID man started smirking. Right? I went, what? He said, well, the picture they used was this one, and he showed me this fake passport, and I tell you what, I was laughing. Then he started chuckling, and we laughed for about 10 minutes, because all they did was they cut out the picture on the first series of The Office from the DVD. So it's a picture of David Brent sitting behind the desk with that little smug look on his face. That's my passport and this thing. So, I mean, they might have got caught anyway.
Yeah, it's nice to know that even such, elaborate operations as this, it still comes down to just idiocy, criminal incompetence.
Who was left in charge of getting a photo? Where they go, Dave, you're doing so and so and so. You're Julie. You're on the inside. There, Bertie, can you get a picture?
Yes.
You can get a photograph of Ricky Gervais, can you?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Where are you going to HMV for? What are you going to HMV for?
I knew we shouldn't have recruited someone who looks exactly like Bernard Bresslaw. It's unnerved me.
Clowns are anti-comedy. They suck comedy out of the room. It's not.
You're right, and this is from a man who wanted to dress as Hitler at the Golden Globes.
No, that's
He knows funny costumes when he thinks. But you were saying about the guys who bother you in the street. Did I tell you that when I pretended to be foreign to try and get out of that? Did I tell you that story?
Amazing.
Because a technique I used to develop at university was whenever people bothered me in the street, I would pretend to be sort of generic foreign. I can't really do a foreign accent, but I would just be like if someone asked for directions, I was always worried about giving them the wrong directions, so I would just, sorry, I don't really, how you say, it's just kind of vague foreign.
Brilliant.
And I've periodically used this method throughout my life. And not so long ago, a guy stopped me with one of those charity tunics, and I sprang into my old trick. I was like, sorry, I don't,
an elderly Russian woman.
I don't know what voice that is. I don't know what accent
it went from vaguely French to sort of Eastern European beggar.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And the guy, and I was like, I don't, he was, well, just let me explain to you about it. Sorry, I'm not from, and the guy...
This world.
Yeah.
I am from planet Snork.
And the guy said, are you Stephen Merchant?
No.
Swear to
Sorry.
God.
Not when you were famous.
Oh yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, because it hadn't occurred to me. It was like a lapse of concentration.
God.
It was a lapse of concentration because,
And did your bow tie spin round and you squirted in the water and ran away? That's what I'd have done.
because, it's one of those things where, you don't always remember that you've been on the It's not like I instantly remembered that.
Amazing.
So he says, are you Stephen Merchant? And then you're in this position where you've got to go, either you've got to admit what you did, or you've got to carry on the lie. And I chose the second one. So I was kind of like, I don't know who that is. What? I don't know what you're... And he was like,
oh God,
really? You look a lot like him. I was going, I've never heard, I don't...
In fact, you are Stephen Merchant. Freeze.
I'm always getting stopped for I mean, there's so many charities now. Anything. I think that's the other problem, actually, that there's so many now. Years ago, a problem wouldn't have been a problem, whereas today it's someone's got this problem, someone's got OCD, and we're collecting for that.
Right.
It's not just starving people anymore; it's everything.
Yeah.
One little fault, they're out there with a clipboard.
Yeah, a lot of new diseases have
Definitely.
cropped up, particularly for these sort of rich and famous diseases that really third world people do not suffer from.
So I was in W.H. Smith's probably buying a Valentine's card.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. You see, so I do a bit, and
Is this the cheapest one you've got, love?
and I bought
Yeah.
I bought a big bar of like Galaxy.
Oh, cheaper than a box of chocolates, but yeah, still nice.
For me, that because they had an offer on, right? This is what I'm saying.
Okay, she's getting a card, isn't she?
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I felt awkward because she could see that. Oh, he must have some money.
What, a big bar of
Because
Galaxy
you could
in
afford some chocolate.
Well, it was like an impulse buy thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's thinking he's got money to burn.
Yeah.
So at first I didn't know who she
There's
was.
a guy over here buying a big bar of Galaxy and a small card. Yeah, follow him.
So she's there. I'm thinking she just works in W.H. Smith's.
Yeah.
Morning, sir. All right, how's it going? Oh,
Right.
have you got a minute? So I'm thinking, is it W.H. Smith saying, how often do you buy the Galaxy? Because they always do sort of surveys and stuff. So she said, you like chocolate? I went, yeah. She said, yeah, I'll have a chocolate. Right? Oh. Little chocolate.
Yeah.
I ate it.
Yeah,
then she goes, right, are you aware of the problems in the world? So I'm thinking, what's this? You see, they've been clever there.
Yes.
I can't say no and walk off without a bit of chocolate.
Sure.
Right.
So,
Why don't you freeze? Just freeze.
We're closing up now. We're closing the shop.
So I said, there's loads of problems. I'm sick of it. So she says...
no, not yours, sir. There are some people who are starving.
Yeah, and I explained to her, I said, listen, I've got loads of these charities every month. I said, my bank account is literally... Because I don't use my current bank account that much. So you look at it with a statement, it's like, Tools for Africa.
Right.
Help the Aged. Deaf Kids.
Yeah.
There's another one.
.com, deafkids.com.
There's loads.
It's Tools for Africa when they send people like Carl over to help out.
Yeah, that is Comic Relief. Tools for Africa is another name for Comic Relief if you watch it.
So anyway, I said, I do all this. She's going, that's very good of you, but, we need your money as well. So she's saying, just as much as you can afford, every little helps and everything. I've been here all day. Look, as you can see, I haven't had much luck. It's not that busy in the shop, blah, blah. Oh, all right then, right? So I give her the details. She looks at the amount. She goes, right, now the options are, you can tick the £5 box, the £10 box, the £20 box, the £50 box. This is a monthly payment.
Right.
She said, well, I'll put you down for a tenner. Forget the £5. She just leapfrogged that straight away.
Yeah.
You can't go back, can you? Because then you feel bad.
Sure.
To sort of go, well, you've got a £5 one there, tick that one.
Yeah.
She can see I've got the chocolate, sort of wasting my money on things that aren't necessary when there's people dying around the world.
Yeah.
I said, right, yeah, tenner, fine. And, I filled it all out. I left the shop.
Yeah.
Spent more on that than I did on the card and the chocolate.
Right. So you spent under £10 then, basically.
So I get home and everything, forget about it. I keep seeing these statements going out. It looks like Gandhi's bank account, the amount of stuff I'm giving away for charities.
Sure.
I forget about it though, forget it. I'm doing my bit for charity. I should feel good about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, something kicks off in the world.
Right.
Ring, 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 ring. Oh. Hello? Is that Mr. Pilkington? Straight away I'm thinking, who's this? This isn't good.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, it's so-and-so charity.
Right.
Are you aware of the problems in the world? I said, yes, I am. There's lots of them. Yeah, but have you heard about the latest one? I said, yeah. She went, well, I'm just calling up to say thanks for the donation that you give us every month, but it's not enough. So I said, yeah, well, I think I give enough. I said, you're not the only ones here. I said, I've got 5 charities on the go here.
Yeah.
I said, I've give you what I can afford. She's going, yeah, but let me just tell you about the problems. There's so many people missing here. This is bad. These are dying. Da, da, da. I'm going, I know. I was told all this when I signed up, and I agreed to that amount.
Yeah.
The £10 that I said I'm happy to give you, that's what I can afford. Call some other people up who aren't giving you a tenner.
Yeah.
She goes, no, but we haven't got their numbers, and we understand that you're a supporter of our charity, and, just a little bit more will help. I said, listen, I can't. I've given you that amount. If you want, if it's not enough, let's stop the direct debit now.
Right.
I said, if it's not helping you, let's can it, and I'll give it to deafkids.com. I said, because they're not calling up mithering.
No.
Well, they can.
That's a good thing with them. So she said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, well, that's it then. And she wouldn't let it go. And in the end, she got an extra £1.50 off me.
Right.
But that shouldn't be allowed. I think they should have, like, 1 year where they go, this year, hungry people.
Right.
Next year, people with a limp. Or just like they do with the China thing, with the year of the cat, year of the rabbit. It's very clear.
Yeah.
It's that year. That's who we're helping this year.
Right.
If you've got that problem, it's your year. You're going to have a good one.
And who decides?
Just have some meeting. Just have a meeting.
But who gets together in the meeting?
What would be the first
charity.
year? So what would be the first year? This year?
Right, well, we'd look at it and we'd go, right, what are we hearing a lot of problems about? And someone goes, so-and-so's hungry. Go, right, are we all in? Are we in to give this lot food? And we're not just going to give them food.
So it's not everyone who's hungry, it's specific people. So it's like hungry...
Starving, people who are starving. If someone goes, I've got, I don't know, what's another problem?
Adenoids.
Me kid's deaf. Well, maybe next year. Maybe next year. It's not your turn this time. We can't help everyone at once. Because that's life, isn't it? You've got to give and take in your own life. There's things that I want, I can't have. do without, have something else.
But
that's
there's
more
so many
important.
causes that
But
it
that's
could
what I'm
wait
saying,
20 years
Steve.
before your
Okay.
charity
I
comes
know,
through.
but what can you do then? Because we're not sorting it all out anyway,
I'm paraplegic.
right?
Oh, I need help really bad. I'm paraplegic.
But so does everyone else.
Well, why are you giving it to the hungry now?
Because if we don't help the hungry now,
Right,
they can't wait. You can wait.
right. Oh God, I'm blind.
Is this a different person now?
Yeah, I'm blind.
Right, well, you're not hungry though, are you?
Well, a bit peckish.
Yeah, well,
Where's the fridge? I can't find the fridge. Can you help me to the fridge?
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll be hungry as well. I'm blind and hungry. I'm blind and hungry because I don't know where the fridge is.
who's let you in?
But Carl, this is just it's
Just
a
some
chaotic
order.
idea. It's
It's
a chaotic
not.
because people who are hungry, there's always going to be people who are hungry.
Yeah, but then-
you're not going to just because there's always going to be new people.
Yeah.
But I sort the problem out.
They've eaten all the food. It doesn't last forever, the food,
but
Carl.
I sort it out properly.
How do you sort it out?
Because I'll go, right, not only are we just giving you food,
Right.
we're giving you some seeds. We're giving you a pan.
What,
We're
you
giving
think they haven't
Let
thought
me
of
hear
that?
the theory, please.
Right,
Sort it out. Don't just give food. That's going to run out.
right.
Give them a proper... You see, the problem is, there's companies who jump on the back of all... Do you know when I was in the
Okay.
jungle? When
Right,
I was
yeah.
in the jungle,
Yeah.
right? On that travel thing.
Yeah.
I was in that tribe, right? Now, some company had given that tribe a laptop because it makes them look good. They can send out a press release. Well done to so-and-so computers.
Right.
They supplied the tribe in, out at Amazon with a computer. I saw it. They were using it as a breadboard because they don't know what it is. They've got no electric. It's useless to them.
Right.
And that's what charity does.
Right.
Companies use it to make them look good. When I was there and I really needed to go to the toilet, I was thinking, tribe, I wonder what their toilet facilities are like, right? Thinking it might be better than just doing it in a hole. Surely they've built a toilet. They're not stupid people. They kill animals. They know what they're doing. They know how to cook. Surely they've built some sort of unit. Turns out they don't. They still do it in a hole. But some company had been there, some plumbing firm, and given them a toilet, right? The bloke who, the producer who was out there, he said, "Oh, you'll be happy. There's a toilet round the back there." I'm thinking, "Oh, brilliant." I go round there. It is a toilet, but it's not plumbed in.
Sure.
So it's just a vase with shit in it. It doesn't work, and this is what we need to do. We need to get out there and say, this is how it works. Educate them.
Okay, so let's do this then. So it's just with the seeds. You're not giving them a... so I'm a starving African. Hello, Carl. Have you got any food? Got any food? Got any sandwiches?
Well, I
I'm
have,
starving.
but if I
Right.
give you my sandwich,
Yeah.
there's someone else behind you, and they'll
Okay.
all come out.
So what are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
I'm going to help you.
How? What are you going to do?
I'm gonna make you think about how to make food.
Oh, okay, right.
Have you ever grown anything before?
No.
Right, well,
No.
here's some seeds for potatoes.
Brilliant. Oh, thanks, Carl. See you later. Do I just put them in the ground, yeah?
Put them in the ground and water them.
Oh, there's no water, you dopey cunt.
There is some
No,
water.
there's no water, you dopey cunt. That's why we're starving, you dopey cunt.
Right, well, at that point, that's where I go, well, this is a lost cause here.
Right.
There's no point.
Can I have your
So
sandwich
then-
after all?
No,
or
you're
what?
not having it. You're
Right,
not having it
so
now.
not only can I have a sandwich, you give me seeds with no water, you useless, bald-headed fucking twonk.
I think I'd quite like to meet some proper Aborigines. It amazes me the way that these people still live like cavemen did years ago. They waste nothing. They have a use for everything. I saw some pictures in the paper about some tribe somewhere who chucked their spears at a helicopter that tried to land close to them. If the tribe got annoyed with you, they would let you know that they were annoyed by shaking their knob at you.
That's what they do.
Oh, God.
See, that's like a proper guide thing. Just in case you ever meet one, they start doing that.
Carl just ends that chapter by saying, I don't know what the women do if they get annoyed.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Within this new Carl book, of course, there are extracts from his famous diary. This is... You've actually been to Madeira, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a bit more of a factually accurate, informative chapter on Madeira. September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight.
Oh.
The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine.
Oh, God.
We had to get 2 cabs to the villa because they couldn't fit 5 of us into one. It cost €85 each. That's just whinging. That's not anything.
That's deer, though, isn't it? It's a deer way.
But that's not a good. They don't know how far that was.
Yeah.
They don't know whether that's rip off or how, you know.
It's just letting you know that.
What? You don't know what the distance was. If it was a
Taxis are
mile,
dear.
it's a rip off. If it was 25 miles, it's a bargain.
And you know you can't get 5 of you in one cab. It's all little things that might help you on a journey.
Yeah.
Suzanne's dad said he liked the free biscuits that were in the cupboard. We went to try and find...
Sorry, this isn't useful as a guidebook at all. That is absolutely I know. They go, as a guidebook, let's have a look. Oh, Suzanne's dad liked the free biscuits in the cupboard. And much people complaining, and they're going to be like, there's no free biscuits in this cupboard.
We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a fan to put in our room to drown out the sound of the mopeds. I've heard Wayne Rooney does the same thing with a vacuum cleaner. What? To drown out the sound of vacuum cleaners, or he puts a vacuum cleaner in his room
if
to
you've
drown out the
just
sound
got
of
a
the mopeds?
noise, if you've just got a noise that's constant, it makes you nod off, and it drowns out every other background noise. So all you've got is like, if it's a vac, it's just, and if that's constant for like all night, you just nod
People
off.
next door going, they've got their vacuum cleaner on again. Put on the JCB. People next door going, they've got the JCB on. Get the... Poke the chickens.
That's how nuclear wars start.
Yeah.
It works.
Doesn't work.
We watched...
Earplugs, drown out
I've
everything.
tried them. I didn't like it, did I?
Why not?
Because I could hear my heartbeat.
Oh, you're such a strange little creature. Oh.
We watched Jerry Maguire in Spanish. Suzanne wanted to go to bed, but I just said I wanted to hear the "show me the money" line in Spanish to see if it's as catchy. It wasn't. October 3rd.
Sorry, is it Portuguese or Spanish?
I don't know what they're speaking in this country.
Madeira.
So it's Spanish and Portuguese, is it?
It's Portuguese, isn't it?
I think there's a mix. I think you get people going on
Portuguese,
holiday.
I think.
Yeah, but you get Spanish people going there.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So they sometimes show television programmes for possible Spanish holiday makers. Is that what you're saying? Or have you just got this factually inaccurate because it's a load of old toss?
Oh, God. Amazing. Oh.
October 3rd. Didn't do much this morning. Just think about this. Just think about this.
Why would you put it in?
As a
guidebook?
holiday. Just think about this next line.
Judith Chalmers. What happened? Not a lot.
Think about this, Rick, as a description of a holiday.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
As Carl said, he loves to go travelling. It broadens the mind and
Yeah.
everything. This is what he did. He's there with his family. He's in Madeira. Didn't do much this morning. Just sat by the pool, saving insects that flew into it.
I'm gonna die like fucking Noah. That's crazy. Nothing.
How were you saving them? Did you wait for them to hit the water, then fish them out, or you grab them in the air?
Just see the legs going.
Oh, God.
Stuck my finger on the top. They grabbed on, lifted it off.
And what, when some sort of insect lifeguard, you'd see someone landing, they'd go, right, that's me, dun, 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 and you'd go in there.
But it's hard to turn a sort of a blind eye to stuff like that, because you know that's something, you know, you're witnessing death. And if you can save something, you do, don't you? You do your bit. And at night, I'd sort of think, have they learnt the lesson, or will they be back, and will they be dead in here tomorrow? But if they can get an extra day, I've done my bit. I can't do more than that. I'm on holiday, do your bit. I'm lucky enough to see the world, do your bit.
I love it.
I did my bit.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that he was running around saving flies and things.
Is there something? There's something so sort of.
Wow, an old lady drowned
Yeah.
while he was saving a beetle.
There's something so kind of, I don't know, desperately existential about your diary. That's what's so
Yeah,
extraordinary about
yeah.
it. As he says, I just sat by the pool saving insects that flew into it. It was full of death. It's just so,
God!
it's so depressing.
Alright.
We walked round the shops. Suzanne's dad bought 2 packets of the biscuits he'd like to take back home with him. Suzanne's man bought a tin of corned beef. It was a bit of a boring day today.
Jesus.
There was a dead bird out the back.
Oh, no. Where were you, Carl?
Suzanne's dad said it looked like it had flown into a wall and killed itself.
No, I think it caught a few insects, but they were covered in chlorine, so it poisoned it.
Loads of ants were eating it.
Oh, God.
I dug a hole under a tree and buried it. that ants were still all hanging around the scene of the death ages after the burial. Suzanne's dad said I should have left the bird for the ants to eat because I was messing up the food chain. I felt bad, so I gave the ants some breadcrumbs.
This is weird.
This is just so
This is
dark.
really weird.
It's good bread out there, though, isn't it? I should have put that.
We have to eat all the food we've got because we're going home tomorrow. Suzanne's mam cut her finger opening the corned beef tin and fainted.
Sorry! This is really weird. Why do you have to eat all the food?
Isn't this like, what's that film, the, Amityville Horror, where there's like a haunted house and there's dead insects and ghostly children walking through the corridors, old people fainting, insects. I'm just saving the insects, Mother.
But you always eat all the food that's in the fridge before you go home, don't you? It's all there to be eaten. She bought some pikelets, which I've never had them. They're like squash crumpets.
Right, okay. Start again. Start the whole thing again. She bought some what?
Some pikelets.
Pikelets?
Yeah. And I didn't like them because they're not as fat as crumpets.
Oh, God! It's like a different
Didn't
language!
eat them, and it was a big upheaval because, like, I was going home and her dad kept trying to sneak them into our bags. Because he's like, they were for you, you take them, we don't want your stuff in our house. Because he gets a bit funny about stuff being left over. There's bins that you can't put certain stuff in. There's a bin in the lounge and I put a tangerine peel in it. He goes, that sort of stuff does not go in that bin. It's rubbish, yeah, but it's not the right sort of rubbish.
Someone will camp next to it.
Yeah. We want to get a better class of camper. Oh. That's the book. It's called Happy Slapped by a Jellyfish.
Yeah, that's from one of the chapters in it.
By Karl Pilkington. Get that soon.
Particularly if you're thinking of visiting Madeira or Australia.
Well, that's about it. Thanks for listening to this. If you enjoyed this and you haven't heard the others, we've got the whole all 3 series on iTunes. You can go and download those.
The Ricky Gervais Show, is that what it's called?
It's called The Ricky Gervais Show, yeah. Carl's also made a programme for me, Steve, on my Fame DVD, out in November. It's called Fame, so I thought we'd look title, Fame, I'm Gonna Live Forever. Remember that guy we met who's gonna live forever?
Oh, yeah.
Called Howard?
Yeah.
That was a meeting of mine, and it's Carl meeting Howard, and it's
Got on with him.
It's really good, isn't it? It's really good, and he really gets on with him. And we're probably going to do a new series of the podcast maybe next year. What do you think, Carl? If you're not too busy making this film with Clive Warren.
We'll see how it goes. Don't plan anything.
Yeah, just check out rickygervais.com. I am Ricky Gervais, with me, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Carl.
Right.
Missy Elliott, work it on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Educating Ricky?
Yeah.
Shall I do a bit of that?
Well, the clues are coming in furious.
The answers, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. So go on in. Oh, this is what.
Yeah, Rockbusters is well underway, Carl. Don't worry, you've done your work now.
Okay.
Right, come on.
Right, educating Ricky.
This is my favourite bit now.
You're just going to tease us, aren't you, with 3 headlines? If you
And I'll choose one, then we got the other 2 as well.
Yeah, that's
Go
the way
on.
it works, and at the end of it, you learn some stuff. Like I say, I'm struggling a bit with knowledge.
Yeah.
At last he confesses.
Yeah. Go on.
So the 3 headlines for you to pick from, we've got, first one, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
I got a feeling there's some vegetables involved.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe. Second one, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Okay.
Alright?
Right.
And third one, I'll bacon in the morning if you're sick of having me here.
Oh, that one.
I'll bacon in the morning if you're sick of having me.
Right, I'm having that one.
That's brilliant.
Right, well, it's a saying. Do you know cold shoulder? Giving someone the cold shoulder?
Yeah.
Right, if you have someone round at your house and you know, you try to get rid of them and they're hanging around and stuff and you're like, oh, I wish they'd go, I'm tired and that. Well, years ago...
when? Literally years ago. Well, ages ago.
Sort of,
Olden times.
I think he said medieval times.
Yonks ago then, yonks ago.
Yeah, medieval, yeah.
We're going back quite a bit on this
Well,
one.
you know when you find out these books, why don't you just pop down when it was?
Just make a note.
I don't think it says all the time, it just sort of says, you know, a few years back.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Never.
alright, I'll make an effort next week.
Okay.
Right? So, it's annoying that, because my girlfriend said to me, just make a note of the time and he'll stop having a go at you.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, it's alright.
Didn't listen.
I don't think it matters anyway in this one. We're looking at the saying, right? So
Yeah.
it's giving someone a cold shoulder, right? And what it is, right? Ages ago, there wasn't enough houses for people.
Right.
Because there wasn't much money being made. You know, there weren't big businesses. People weren't earning good money like they are now. So there wasn't as many houses, right? So what you ended up getting is like, the rich people having a nice place to live, and the poor people were like wandering about, looking for places to live and that. And what they ended up doing is, they had like, people would go around to the mate's house and say, look, I haven't got anywhere to live. It's a bit cold. Can you let me stay? Right? So they'd go, all right, then you can stay a couple of days. But they ended up staying for like weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So, to sort of get rid of them, what they'd end up doing, they'd be making the dinner, and they'd be making a lovely dinner, like a bit of meat, nice warm meat, and nice veg, gravy. And
This happened every time, did it? This is where the saying came from.
This is what happened, Rick.
This is happened every time.
It was in that vague book.
the book of vague sayings and stuff.
Right, so they'd be making a nice meal, but what they did, they looked after all the family, and the person who won't go home, they just give them some, like, sort of a cut-off of cold meat.
Right.
So they'd say, you're giving them the cold shoulder. Meaning...
Right. Okay, that's rubbish. Okay, absolute...
Carl, why does that necessarily work?
Yeah. Why do they always, in every situation when you want to get rid of a lodger, well, still feed him every day, but make the meat lukewarm. So
They always leave then.
Yeah.
Oh, this food's lukewarm. I'm gonna become homeless
and they
again,
go,
wandering the
hold
streets.
on, are you giving me the cold shoulder? Yes. Do you want me to leave? Yes, just say leaving. No, I like to do it cryptically. That way, in years to come, someone will have a little saying about it.
Well, that was our bacon in the morning. If you've had enough of meat, we'll leave that.
Well,
Bacon in the morning! Oh, bacon in the morning if you've had enough of me!
so come back. What are the others? Just tease us again with the others. We'll come back to those.
He's a bit of a nuisance, and we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Nice, looking forward to that. Let's have another educating Ricky, because I think you got sidetracked with your talk of
Well, just the other thing on things you don't see. Look at the way when I went to school, there was 2 kids with them big heads. Now,
you don't
never see them.
Sure.
Yeah, but no one else saw them anyway, Carl. It was only you that saw 2 of them, not related, and wouldn't hang around with each other, because you think they thought it would be too obvious. Webbed fingers and big heads. That's amazing.
And there was a kid with a pigeon chest, so...
Oh yeah, and the lady with the head like a bag of spuds.
Let's not go through these again. It just raises too many questions that can't be answered.
Yeah.
Right then, so, we've got, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Yeah, go on.
Is that the one you want?
Let's go for it.
Right, I think this was like round the 1700s.
Bluffing.
And
Just bluffing.
Who was the king then?
Dunno.
Go on.
But it's about the word bonfire, right?
Bonfire.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Do you know where it comes from?
No, go on. No.
Right, what happened is it's got nothing to do with Guy Fawkes and that, which is what I thought when I saw it. It's got nothing to do with that. But ages ago, at 1700s, right, they didn't have enough houses, like I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if that happens, you get people living on the streets, you get diseases, people aren't cleaning properly, so you get more deaths. Alright?
Yeah.
So, think about it, you've got all these dead bodies lying around, they're running out of space, because there's, like, I don't know why they're running out of space, but okay. they haven't got much, I don't know why, really. I was gonna say they should have just buried them, but there's probably more land back then than now.
He doesn't need anyone else in the room to have a dialogue with himself. Yeah, we could leave and we'd come back and you go, I've sorted it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, for some reason...
They presumably, if it's going to be they burnt them, it's presumably to do that it also kills the parasite or whatever's carrying the parasite on them, as opposed to burying them and not killing the disease.
Well, yeah. So there you go, you've worked it out. They piled them up, and they turned it into a celebration, because there was a lot of fed up people at that time.
Is this to be the word bon, meaning good?
No, I'll tell you in a minute.
Go on.
So, you've got all these people who are, like, going around, and like, oh, you know, so-and-so died the other day, and, you know, nearly every week someone they knew was dying, so you can imagine, like, just constant, like, being depressed. So, and they've got all these bodies lying everywhere, it's like, oh, God, what are we gonna do? So they said, we're all too fed up at the moment. Said, let's make this a better world.
This was 1701 by the time they got together.
So they said, what we need to do is have a big party. So they said, yeah,
Good thinking.
see what you're thinking. So they go, right, well, we'll put all the bodies in a big pile, and they're all diseased and that, so they set fire to the bodies, and they said, let's have this as a celebration to remember them by, and, you know, we'll have a drink and that, and have a chat. We'll have this big fire going, and it came from bone fire.
Ah, right.
So it was all the bones. Bonfire is bone fire.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's how it came about.
Yeah, in the 1700s.
Yeah.
That was.
No, probably. I reckon it was 1600.
Probably earlier.
I reckon it was the plague. I reckon it came from.
But interesting stuff. Interesting.
So
stuff.
that's.
Did you celebrate Bonfire Night? Is that a big celebration for you? Do you like the fireworks? I'm sick of fireworks. I just think they're rubbish.
I'm not impressed.
I've never been impressed by fireworks. Even as a kid, you know, you have to go to, like, sort of community kind of gatherings with a bonfire and fireworks, and like, some local vicar or whatever would come out.
But I also think the adults think the kids love it, and if they just got together and said, should we go see it, they'd all go, no. Let's not
absolutely.
Let's not go this year.
What would be better is if the vicar had wheeled out like a massive rocket, climbed in, gone last one to the moon is a bender, and then fired himself off. Now that, I'd pay to see. That's a fireworks display I'd like to see. As it is, it's just rubbish.
Dear.
Yeah.
That's your feeling, Carl?
Yeah, I'm not keen.
No.
Sorry, what clue was that?
We'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Bone marrow. Bone marrow. Genius. Play record.
Oh, God! Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. As the Canadian physician William Osler once said, the desire to take medicine is perhaps the greatest feature which distinguishes man from animals. From keyhole surgery to stem cell research, modern medicine enables the 20th century man to play God. But how did we get here? What incremental advances through the ages gave birth to the medical wonders of today? Here to discuss the history and practice of medicine are Stephen Merchant, graduate from the University of Warwick and now award-winning writer.
Thank you very much indeed.
And Karl Pilkington, a man with no qualifications, very little education, but who is now known the world over as a shaven chimp with a head like a fucking orange.
Alright.
Well, there is obviously so much to discuss, Ricky. I wonder, in an effort just to provoke some initial thoughts, if I can offer another quote from the great Carl Sagan, who said, advances in medicine and agriculture have saved vastly more lives than have been lost in all the wars in history. So quite a...
Yeah, just shows you shouldn't really worry about war.
What do you mean?
Not a big problem, is it? Obviously. So, that's a good point there, Carl. War's not as bad as a lot of people make out. What do you think, Carl? Overrated? Too much fuss about all...
Well, I don't know anyone who's died in a war, but I know loads of people who have died from, you know, cancer and what have you. So is that going on Carl's quote? Does that work? Is he right? What did he say?
Good, well, we're off to a fascinating start. I think it's probably best, Rick, if we return to the very beginning of time, the dawn of man, because of course, even in primitive prehistoric ages, medicine was practiced in some ways, from the research people have done, cave paintings and the like. Carl, I wonder if you would just give us your initial thoughts on, you know, the medicine of the ancient world.
You've not. You sound like you haven't studied it, or you're being.
You're being modest.
You're being modest.
I never really thought about it.
What do you think?
They didn't have much. I know that Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun.
He died of like having a knee injury. so they didn't have that much medicine knocking about back then.
Right, where did you get this information from? It sounds vague.
I read it at an exhibition I went to, and they
Okay,
reckon
did you
it
read
came-
the whole sentence, or
No,
just...
I just saw like
Yeah.
they had some like video footage like made up. It wasn't from
Yeah.
the time, and they just sort of said this is probably what happened.
Sure. Did
Come
you put
on.
the headphones on and listen, though, or do you just guess it from
I
the
just
pictures?
looked because
Sure, of
I
course.
couldn't have the headphones.
Of course not.
Why couldn't you have the headphones?
They're expensive.
How much?
About 50 quid, I think, deposit and everything.
Well, you get that
It's a
back
deposit,
though if
though,
you
isn't it?
return them. All you have to do is take them off
I
your
don't
head
like
and
the
hand them
idea
in.
of handing money over because it's like when you get a flat and that and you put a deposit in, you never get the full deposit back. I don't like deposits.
Well, what do you
Trust
think it's
me.
gonna? What do you think they're
I'm
gonna do?
going
They're
to
gonna they're gonna take 50 quid off because you put wallpaper on your headphones.
No, but it's a
not the same, is it?
Tutankhamun
You
exhibition.
So you're going to deprive yourself of education
I
because
didn't,
you
I
don't
didn't
trust...
deprive me. I saw it.
the
I saw
Natural
these
History
things.
Museum.
He came off a chariot. They're dangerous things.
He came off a chariot. You saw that on the... How do you know he died? How could you tell from visual images that Tutankhamun died from a knee injury?
It's just, honestly, you're going to make yourself look daft here because that's what happened.
Imagine that in a room with Karl Pilkington, we make ourselves look
ourselves look
daft.
daft.
How would we have to? That would be incredible.
So aside from Tutankhamun's knee injury, that's pretty much your grasp of the ancient world of medicine?
Well, I don't know anyone else who's knocking about.
Well,
Whenever
what
you hear
about if we go
ancient-
back even further? What about if we go to sort of primitive man, cave-dwelling man? What do you know there of medicine in that early stage?
They didn't really bother.
Okay, is that
medicine.
guessing or
Wasn't
what-
the earliest ones like people like shaman and
Well,
those
absolutely, of course.
tribal lords that would say, well, that was I assume even pagan man had sort of apothecaries that
Absolutely.
certain roots and
Yeah. Shaman who would use herbs and so on. But of course, if we go back to primitive man, you're obviously familiar. I believe it's pronounced. Is it trepanning?
when you take the top of your head off and let
Where,
out the demons and
They found various skulls from ancient man with holes bored in the top, some of which had healed over, suggesting that they had indeed drilled holes in their head, or presumably they wouldn't have had drills in that point, cracked the head, and in their thinking letting out evil spirits, and then they healed back over. So in some instances, the people survived.
Mm.
Don't you think it's fascinating that there was one point when man discovered that this thing that we now call the brain, which sort of houses the mind, he knew was in his head.
It's not that amazing.
Well, no, it's not to you because you know it's there. But
No, but back then, I reckon I'd know that's where it is.
why? Can you feel where you're thinking?
Well, it just makes sense to put it there.
What do you
Why?
mean?
When you think and you speak, it comes out your mouth. So it just
Yeah.
makes sense that whatever's near that is near to the mouth. If your brain was in your foot, it'd take ages for you to say anything.
No, it wouldn't. Why?
This is like actually talking to a primitive man about his understanding of medicine. They would have more insight. By this point, we'd have just cracked open your head to get the demons out. Shall we move on to the ancient world in terms of Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, of course, because they made huge advances, particularly the Romans, who understood, of course, the importance of sanitation. You know, famously, their streets were clean.
Yeah. Don't you think that if we hadn't have cleaned up as much, that, I don't know, we'd be stronger?
What?
Well, I know what you mean. Yeah, they
say now, don't they? They say
let
feed
your
a
kids
baby,
eat
eat
dirt.
mud and
Yeah,
all
of
that.
course. Well, that's building up its sort of immunity system. If you're too closeted, you don't fight it. And that's exactly what immunisation is, giving you a bit.
Yeah, but
of
it's
the
gone
disease.
mental now. Whenever a baby's born, he's drugged out of its eyeballs. It's only
do you
about a
mean?
week old. They're giving it all sorts of shots.
Like what?
Loads of stuff for whooping cough.
Yeah, you don't want whooping
sugar
cough.
lumps.
Tutankhamun could have died of whooping
No,
cough.
but did you give it loads of stuff? And now it's like, I don't know, it's making us weak.
Yeah. Soon there's going to be things that, one, we're not immune to, and two, our antibiotics no longer work, because of course things like the viruses and bacteria or whatever, they evolve and change so quickly that you can't keep up with them. And also there's this big thing, like the superbug, for example. There's a very strong theory that says that it's where people took half the course of antibiotics, and what it did was, it was almost like an immunisation to the bacteria and virus against the antibiotic. They got stronger. That's
what I mean.
So yeah, we need some germs, as you'd call them. But there are some that we have eradicated. I mean, I think it was in our lifetime that they eradicated smallpox from the world. They just stopped it, and it saved, I mean, millions and millions of lives. And they wiped it out.
There are rumours, of course, that both Russia and America still have the smallpox virus under lock and key, which they could theoretically breed and use in a chemical warfare situation.
Well, there was a bit of a scandal a few years ago, I think 10 years ago, where in a university laboratory, someone came across a marked yogurt pot in deep freeze that had smallpox in it. That was a hangover from the 70s.
When you say it was marked, was it like someone's put their name on it because they don't want someone to eat their smallpox yogurt?
I think they looked into it, and it was the deep frozen smallpox virus that thawed out and
just
released.
left in a fridge.
Well, I think so. Yeah, it was an admin
understand.
problem. I'm sure that it's somewhere. What I mean is, it's under lock and key or frozen at minus 200 degrees centigrade. Why?
Under lock and key and all that. It's not good enough. Get rid of it. Why are they keeping a little tub of smallpox knocking about?
Well, are they not meant to be?
Well, that's
but
a
what's he doing
lesson.
there in the first place? To me, that's like in James Bond, where they don't kill him when they have the chance. There's always that little thing of, oh, let's play with danger. Let's keep a bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Pop it
probably
next to AIDS in the Kiora bottle. I don't understand why you'd store that.
Well, there's probably a presumption, it's probably an overhang from the Cold War, where people were thinking, well, listen, what if Russia's still got some smallpox? We better hang on to some smallpox.
It's just clutter, though, as well, isn't it? You see, we're obsessed. We're keeping stuff. And it's the same with germs. We can't even say, get rid of that. We won't be needing it. Smallpox. We'll keep it just in case. Get rid of it.
Fly at all. What do you think of that, Carl? How would you, though, if you wanted to make the ultimate fighting animal, what would you come up with? If you had the power, like that fella in Arabian Nights, size of a chimpanzee, you could change into anything, but you could change into, like that.
I don't think I'd go for strength and that. I'd go for survival.
What would you do? Cockroach.
I'd have like an armadillo's body.
Right. Okay. So that's as big as you can be now, then. So you can't really pop on a lion's head because it'd just lay there going, I can't fucking move.
All right. I'd have head of an owl.
Right.
The head of an owl?
Yeah. Why? Come on. Why? What does that bring to the table?
The head's there to sort of make it look friendly to the
make it
human
friendly.
race. So
Okay.
because if you look half decent to the human race, they'll look after you.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah,
Isn't it? With
okay.
the cat and the dog and all that.
Okay.
So the owl makes it look nice.
Right.
I'd have. I wouldn't have legs. I'd go for like this slug juice.
What do you mean? So now you're a really slow-moving, legless armadillo with the head of an owl.
Slithering along. How
Yeah.
is that going to be friendly? They'll see the beautiful face, but then they'll be terrified by the sludge.
No, because the head's that nice that they'll forgo the sludge.
But hold on though. But wait a minute. So it's got this thing that's stuck, right, going at 0.1 miles an hour, with it going whoo, right? You come over, you kick the head off. How is this
No,
a
because the
survival?
head can go into the thing like a tortoise.
Can it?
Yeah, of course it can. Into the armadillo body.
Well, no, an armadillo doesn't do that. It just curls up into a
No,
ball.
this isn't an armadillo, is it?
So it's
Why has it got the sludge? Why is that
Because
so
what
attractive?
I'm thinking is an armadillo. They're good when they're on their feet. Flip them, they get stuck like a tortoise.
Right.
Slug stuff keeps it down. So if anything attacks it, it's like a limpet or one of them things that can.
Why
lock
have a
the stuff.
limpet then?
But it can't get any. How it can barely move. It can
Just
hardly get
go
anywhere.
and kick it.
What do you mean it can't get
Well, how
anywhere?
can it escape from danger? It's going to move very
rubbish.
slowly.
No, because
What, that's the
it'll
worst
lock itself in. It'll lock itself in.
Yeah, and then I just scoop it up on the
You can't scoop it up. It locks itself in if it's in danger. I'd give it peacock feathers.
This is the worst animal
Why has it got peacock feathers?
Again, it's just
the
so
worst animal I've ever heard.
Why has it got peacock feathers?
threatening. It looks more threatening.
It
That's what peacock
that's the
feathers do.
least threatening thing, peacock feathers. It's like Danny LaRue coming at you. There's
Yeah.
nothing remotely scary about peacock
Yeah,
feathers.
to humans.
Yeah.
But the humans won't be harming it because they like the owl head. People will like to have these things in the garden. They eat lettuce.
They eat lettuce. Why has he got a beak? They eat lettuce. He's telling them what it's going to eat now. The owl's going, fuck that, I want a mouse. I love the fact that he's based what it eats on the fact that how it moves a bit like a slug.
Yeah.
Let it eat lettuce. It moves that, and let it eat lettuce.
Like I said, it's not that weird if that existed. If that was normal, like when you went out to empty your bin, there was one of them sliding up the wall. you wouldn't even double take. It'd just be like, oh, there's the owl head peacock feathered thing.
I don't know why he's climbing walls in an effort to find lettuce.
Yeah, why is it climbing up that wall?
Because that's the only way it can see properly. Because its head's coming out like that.
So even though you've designed this animal, now you're even extending its limitations.
Well, it's mainly made as to be on walls. 'Cause what else is living on walls?
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell! What a useless animal that is! Carl, I mean.
But nature chucks up odd things, doesn't it?
Don't. Why are we starting on this again?
No, I'm just saying that is nature. Now and again, you'll get stuff that.
Oh, was he looking at you?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Look at his fucking head. Look at his stupid round fucking orangey head and
Why aren't you a freak? You've got a little bald head. We're not meant to be bald.
Well, I was. I think that's the thing. That's what nature's done. You see, I didn't do anything with my hair when I had hair. I didn't style it, I didn't do anything with it, and it probably thought, what am I doing here? Whereas people who love their hair, and they comb it and have different styles and look after it, they have hair for ages.
Nonsense.
No, nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Well, you're saying
absolute nonsense.
Well, it's a little bit weird then, isn't it? And that's what happens with old people, once they lose their, will to live, once they lose the job, they get old. What's my purpose? What am I doing here? And it's like nature goes, you're not needed, and they die. Maybe that's what happened with the dodo. What's it doing? It can't fly. Its wings are useless. Eat it. Tastes horrible. Kill it.
No, they did eat it. I think they did eat it.
Yeah, but it wasn't very nice, was it?
I think they over-farmed it. I think that's why it was extinct. Because they did eat it.
No, but they did eat it, but they didn't like it. Everybody, you never saw like a fully eaten carcass of a dodo.
You're making this up again.
Eaten.
All conjecture.
No, but they didn't eat it all. Everybody would probably try it and go, it's not for me, that.
But you don't know
No
this.
idea,
You
you're
don't
just
know
making
this.
it up.
What's this based on? That people... And also, why would that kid it out?
Because I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because if it's not nice, people don't get another one in. And they die out. The reason we've got loads of chickens and loads of cows is because we eat them. If we ate polar bears, we wouldn't be short of them. Because you'd farm it, you'd take more care, but what's a polar bear doing? Sat on a block of ice floating about. It's no use to us, is it? It sounds harsh.
once
it's
again
no
got
use.
his information from a Glacier Mint
No,
advert.
but it's no use to us. We know they're there, and it's all very sad when you see them on the news sort of struggling and all that.
Yeah.
But it's going to make them stronger.
If scientists could bring back to life the creatures that have existed in the past, do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad idea.
Bad idea?
Yeah.
Now, leaving aside the horrors of Jurassic Park, do you think, for research purposes, it might be a useful idea?
I don't think it is. For me, it's like a Friends reunited. It's like people who you knew ages ago getting back in touch, and you go, I don't want to get in touch with you. That was then, and it's the same with a mammoth. That was then. You had your day. It didn't work out. Now to bring it back, it's unfair. You're messing with nature anyway. I think I've said to you before about I don't know what they do with them. They're massive things. I think it's like they're just not thinking about it. It's like rushing into buying furniture that's massive, and then you get it back and you go, can't get it through the door.
No,
And it'd be like that with a mammoth. Where are we putting them? Oh, I didn't think of that.
But what about if you could say you could feed the third world with mammoth meat?
But what's wrong with we've got loads of cows and stuff. Why do they need a mammoth? No one even knows what it tastes like. Imagine that. You bring it back and you've got another dodo on your hands. People go, this is this is horrible.
Well, they used to eat them because they, again, what humans found out is they could take down a mammoth, but they got greedy and they found out they could chase them, and so they'd go over an edge of a cliff. And what they did, they went crazy and they used to herd them and they'd all die, but of course then they'd waste the meat because they couldn't eat it all.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that's why we shouldn't bring them back, because they are too big. So even if
Didn't hear a word of what you said then, didn't hear a word.
No, I did. Everyone can eat them, but the problem is they're so big that you couldn't eat it quick enough, so it all went off.
Yeah, but I was saying that they killed too many at once.
Yeah, I know.
doesn't know
I
what
heard
you're
that.
talking about.
I heard that. But what I'm saying is, why not bring back an animal that's smaller, manageable for everyone?
Yeah.
That's why the chicken is perfect. Out of all the animals, perfect. Good size, feeds a family of 4. Whilst it's alive, it's giving you eggs.
I agree.
So it tastes nice.
But it doesn't if you think it's not having a good life. If suddenly said to me, I stopped eating it because I found out about how badly they were treated like 10 years ago, and at least I have organic. And honestly, eating an animal that's been tortured doesn't taste nice. Foie gras would make me vomit. The thought of it, the evil involved in torturing a goose because the liver tastes slightly better. I mean, where does it end?
I think if they're looked after, they don't want to die. The ones in a nice warm little, you know, hut, being fed lovely food, you're going, right, we're going to cut your head off, and they're probably like, oh God, I'm going to miss this, I'm loving this life. Whereas the one sat in its own shit's going, have me first, I'm sick of it. There's different ways of looking at it.
Good point. So what you're saying is, give animals a bad life, torture them, and they'll be happy when you eat them. Brilliant.
But we've ordered we've ordered a turkey.
Right.
It's way too big. So I don't know what we're going to do with it. And it's worrying me now, actually. It'll be nice on Christmas Day, but it's my job to look after the kitchen and everything, tidy up. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it all.
The fact that he's been given a job to make him worthwhile, really, it's like a little home.
No, but a chicken, your chicken.
Arthur, you're washing up today, aren't you? Yeah, Arthur's job.
And that's the problem with a mammoth. I think the idea of it's probably quite pleasant. You go, oh, that's something new to try out. But afterwards, when you got to tidy it up and stick it in cling film, you'll be going, how much of this have we got? So I wouldn't bring back the mammoth.
Brilliant.
Charles Darwin, of course, once said, I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have created parasitic wasps with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. His point being that, you know, creatures and their reproductive cycles are so complicated, so intricate, so bizarre, that alone is proof of the non-existence of God. Where do you stand on that?
It's pretty weird. We talked about it ages ago, didn't we, about the wasp that has a thing growing in it and all that.
Lays its egg in a spider.
Yeah, and then the spider goes mad, doesn't it?
You fucking cunt laying your eggs in me, you fucking stripy wanker. Goes absolutely fucking mad.
It is weird.
What's going up my arse in a couple of what you fucking...
I don't know how it found out that that's what it had to do. That's the amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, it didn't, did it?
It just did it.
No, I know, but when I say found out, I mean it just did it.
Well, it's like mimicry, when they say mimicry, you know, that there's a poisonous snake, and then a snake comes along that looks a bit like it that's not poisonous, but people go, oh, careful, it's poisonous. That snake didn't go, I'm gonna strain, and I'm gonna try and look like Scary over there. Some were born that looked a bit like Scary, and they survived.
Yeah.
It's just being chosen.
But that's changing now, isn't it? The fact that, like, when them frogs came out that are dangerous, they were just dangerous.
What frogs came out? But
There's some frogs in a jungle somewhere that were, like, pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
From Mattel, dangerous frogs in the jungle.
yeah.
But people didn't know that they were dangerous. And they were going about killing loads of stuff. Anyway.
They weren't going, no, they don't go around killing loads of stuff.
Nature said, this is a bit unfair. Make them orange. So then, the frogs that were orange were dangerous, but you got a warning. It was a bit more fair. Nature said, if they're going to go about being dangerous, make them orange, make them stand out. In a jungle, orange stands out in all the green, right? So people went, there's an orange frog, stay away. Then, over time, nature went, right, what's happened here now? Everyone knows the orange frog's dangerous. Birds aren't eating it because they know it's dangerous. People are avoiding it. They don't even need the poison, it's just the orange it needs. So now you've got a load of frogs that are orange, not even deadly. But people go, is that a deadly orange one, or is it a friendly one? Well, best to leave it.
Again, he's explained my point, but took 30 times as long over.
But
it.
also,
But
in his
listen,
head-
let me finish what I was going to say. But what's interesting with all that is, evolution has taught stuff to lie. Because that orange frog isn't deadly, it's going about like it's the big I am.
Yeah.
You could squash it with your hand, you can't do anything. But evolution...
It's swaggering around.
It's made it lie. So lying is part of evolution.